This list came out, the 100 greatest rock stars, and number 100 pisses me off.
Because it should have been higher?
He should have been top 5, but they put him down as number 100, and it's Elvis Presley.
Who made the list?
This is Spin.
Oh, Spin. They know what they're doing. So
Bob Guccione Jr. wrote this.
Wow.
So he's got, people know who he is.
Right.
But Elvis, number 100.
It depends what the criteria is. See, a lot of these lists, they don't do like, who invented rock and roll or who had the biggest impact in rock and roll. They just say like, who is the greatest rock star of all time? Meaning like when they performed, it was just, I see what you're saying. I mean, you got to think about your grandma. Your grandma, when she was 16 and saw Elvis, she totally lost her shit when Elvis Presley performed. So you kind of have to put it in perspective. So in that way, I would think Elvis Presley would be way higher on. Now, I don't know about top 5, but
no,
again,
if it wasn't for him, there would be no rock stars.
Right.
I mean, everybody is following him. Nobody did it before him, and it took a long time for anybody to do it after him. I mean, if they're talking about, quote, heat index, he had it off the chart.
Oh, is that the criteria, the heat index they're calling it?
Yeah, and just somebody that you look at and go, that's a rock star. But they're saying heat index. Presley had that. He drove women insane.
Not Fat Presley.
But no, I'm talking 1960 Presley.
Oh, okay.
That guy drove women nuts. So I don't know how you can make him number 100 on the list.
Right. Yeah. No, probably a bunch of Gen Z people who are like, yeah, my grandma liked him. Throw him on the list.
Number 95 is the guy in my head when I think rock star is the rock star. And that's David Lee Roth.
Really? You think David Lee Roth when you think rock star?
When I think rock star, I think of David Lee Roth. I mean,
not me.
That's the guy I think of. He was the front man, the rock star.
He's more, to me, I guess it depends on when you met him. Like, to me, he's more like pop star rock. He was like top 40. I don't look at him and think rock star at all. I look at him and I basically think guy who was trying really hard to be a rock star, but more he was like, it was pop. It was, Genesis kind of music.
No,
yacht rock. He's a yacht rock star.
No, I think he changed the game when it came to what people wanted to be as a rock star. It was David Lee Roth.
I've never heard any musician ever say they became a musician because of David Lee Roth. I don't hear anybody ever mention his name.
They do. Number 91, Axl Rose.
Yeah, he's quite a rock star. Yeah.
Jerry Garcia is 87.
That's weird he's even on the list. You consider the Grateful Dead rock? Really?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, is he a rock star?
If he were alive, he wouldn't think so. He would say no.
Billy Corgan is higher, 79. How can you put Elvis Presley at number 80 and Billy Corgan at 79?
All right, okay. I do have a problem with that. I thought you said Elvis Presley was number 100.
Number 100, and how can you put Billy Corgan 79?
Yeah, that I have a problem with. See, when you compare them like that, when you say Billy Corgan, it's like, yeah, the Smashing Pumpkins were cool, I guess, in the 90s for like a minute and a half. But you have to remember also, the staying power is important too. If you're like a rock star, people better know who you are now. And my guess is most younger millennials and Gen Zers have no idea who Billy Corgan is.
Right. Number 78, I agree. Madonna, she should be higher.
Rock star?
Rock star, yeah. I mean, she had the heat index. She was it back then.
But she wasn't doing rock music. I mean, I think the problem is there's probably not a lot of women on this list. And they probably put Madonna there because they had to throw in.
There is a lot of women. I mean, not a lot of women, but there is a good amount. Number 70, Don Henley. Then you got Roger Daltrey at 69. He should be higher.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. He should be higher than that, though.
Now Roger Daltrey is a rock star. He has the rock voice.
The look.
He had the look, he had the tight pants. And I don't know if he stuffed or whatever he did, but he got out there with that bulge, and the women went nuts for him. He was in the movie Tommy. Do you mean like he's a rock star.
Yeah, one higher is Iggy Pop. So Roger Daltrey's got to be like, what? Iggy Pop? Okay.
No, Iggy Pop belongs. See, Iggy Pop is a genuine article. Back in the day, and like CBGBs, anytime you read any history of the East Village or music that came out of New York City, Iggy Pop is always mentioned. He's always like the number one guy with drugs, the number one guy who busted up hotel rooms,
I know,
like
a
all
bigger
the
rock star than the Who.
Wore makeup, skinny, wore all those weird clothes, had stuff made for him, wore women's clothes before anybody else did. So Iggy Pop came before like David Bowie, for example. So yeah, I think he should have been higher.
63, Gwen Stefani. So
yeah, look, she's had her rock moment. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she sort of influenced a generation of women, I think.
62, Leslie West from Mountain. Great singer, great guitarist. Number 61, Aretha Franklin.
Rock star?
Yeah.
That's weird.
57 is Tom Petty. We can agree with that.
Yep, that's good.
Slash is 56.
Yep. Oh, yeah. The guy who you can't even see his face because he's got the hat and hair. He's just a hat and hair.
Yeah. John Bon Jovi, 51. John Bon Jovi is a rock star.
Yes. Yeah. He's top 15.
Yeah, not 51. And 50, so right in the middle, number 50, John Lennon.
I'm not into boy bands, so you're talking to the wrong person. I don't do boy bands. I'm sure John Lennon had his moment. I don't know that rock star. Maybe. Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
Yeah, rock star.
Elton John, 46.
Yeah. Listen, Elton John, when he was first starting out and he wore those wild things and banged on the piano, and yeah, he was 70s rock.
A guy that drove women nuts, Jim Morrison.
Oh, yeah.
From The Who. The
Who, The Doors.
The Doors, sorry.
Yeah.
He was a rock star.
But he was a terrible musician. He couldn't sing. Doors music sucks. Like anytime I hear it now, I'm like, this music is awful. But Jim Morrison himself was a rock star. He had the look. He had the looks. You could just picture him in those leather pants, Val Kilmer playing him. Women went nuts for Val Kilmer because of it.
Number 41, Chris Cornell.
Oh, yeah. Tragic and rock starry.
Eminem, number 39.
Rock star?
Yeah. I guess. Huh. Yeah, you put him in there.
I guess.
Then we go to Robert Plant, 33. Crazy to be 33. It's Robert Plant.
Right, that's Led Zeppelin, right?
Led Zeppelin. Eddie Van Halen, number 31. That needs to be higher.
Yeah, he was kind of sexy. I could see, yeah. You know what it is? Eddie Van Halen's one of those guys where he did the job, he was good, but he kind of like kept to himself. When I think of rock star, I think like burned down a hotel room, like a Keith Moon stuff, like drove a car into a pool, lots of drugs, lots of women. Cliche, but still.
Steven Tyler, rock star, number
Big
28.
Time. Yeah, there you go. That's a little better.
Chrissie Hynde, 25.
Ooh, I like now that I agree with.
Yeah, see, it told you. Number 24, Joan Jett.
Nice.
22, I don't know how the hell does Sinead O'Connor make 22 and Chrissie Hynde makes 25?
Exactly. And Sinead O'Connor shouldn't even be on this list. She had one hit.
And it was a Prince song.
Right. Yeah.
Number 21, I agree with. Rock star, Gene Simmons.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you said to me, when you think of the term, like that real rock star image, and Gene Simmons comes to mind, that makes more sense to me than David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth is kind of a pussy compared to Gene Simmons.
Yeah, Gene Simmons could probably kick his ass. Number 19, Ann Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
From Heart.
Yep.
Number 18, Dave Grohl, who I think should be higher.
I think he should be higher too. Yeah, he would disagree with this list, but yes.
he would say he deserves to be at number 18. I think he needs to be in the top 10. Number 17, Stevie Nicks.
Yes. All right, now we're talking. Okay, I like it. It's a woman. I like that she fits in the genre. She
Mhm.
had the look. She had the storyline. Like everything
voice.
everything about her was just like, wackadoodle, just the right amount of wackadoodle.
Now we're getting into the real rock stars, I think. Number 16 is Freddie Mercury.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I say yes to that.
15, Eddie Vedder.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah.
would put him
Yeah.
lower on the list, but he deserves to be on that list. Number 14, Debbie Harry. Blondie.
I say yes to that. You know, they just had their 40th anniversary of the song Rapture or the album Rapture or whatever, and Blondie was out there celebrating today.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, like, still to this day, Deborah Harry, she's been on red carpets lately. She still carries herself like somebody you do not want to mess with, you know, that can get on a stage and just kill it at any moment.
And still kick your ass.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
One way or another, call me Heart of Glass, all that. Number 13, David Howell Evans. You know him as The Edge.
Okay.
From YouTube.
Really?
I don't know if he's a rock
You know, just
star.
yesterday, my boyfriend and I were talking about how we really don't like U2 anymore. It was one of these things like in college, I loved U2. You know, Joshua Tree.
Rattle and Hum was
Rattle and Hum and Boy, like all those albums when you're in college, it's like, wow, this music is awesome. And then you sort of grow out of it. And we were in like a deli and there was a U2 song playing and we both were like, boy, this music sucks. How do we like this? Why did we ever like this?
Rattle and Hum, you go back and listen to it and go, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, one or two songs.
Number 12, now we're top 12, Bob Marley.
Oh, okay. Finally, somebody who's not white.
Wow. Yeah, Bob Marley deserves to be higher.
Yeah.
He changed the whole genre.
Change the game. And if you think about it, again, a lot of the music that you're listening to now that you think like, that's a great song, whether it's rap, whether it's rock, whether it's country, it has a reggae element to it. And you don't realize it. And you're like, oh, that's a reggae element. And all of that originated with Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and all those guys who made that music palatable and likable to the rest of us, who brought it to the pop culture at large.
And when you're on the beach, it's really the only thing to listen to.
Yeah.
Because it fits so perfectly. Number 11, Janis Joplin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Any of the tragic story, anybody who died at 27 on that list.
Mm-hmm. Well, and she was incredibly talented.
Incredibly talented, led the life, walked the walk, talked the talk. Yes, 100%.
Top 10 now. Kurt Cobain, number 10.
He's number 10? I thought he'd be higher.
Number 10, because now we're getting into the big rock stars. Grace Slick is number 9.
Okay, I accept that. That's good.
Mick Jagger, come on.
Oh, right, of course,
Number
Mick Jagger.
8.
Yeah. Mick Jagger better than Kurt Cobain.
Yeah,
Okay.
when Mick Jagger walks into a room, you say, there's a rock star.
Except for Dancing in the Streets.
Everybody says,
I know. Everyone has their failings.
Mulligan. That's his one mulligan. It
All
was
right.
that. But when he walks in, when they're on stage playing Sympathy for the Devil,
Yeah.
you go, holy shit.
Yeah.
Even today.
Yeah.
Number 7, I don't agree with. He should be number 100. I'm going to flip him with Elvis. So
Okay.
I'm going to say Bob Dylan is number 100. Elvis is number 7.
I agree. I don't get Bob Dylan, but then when you think about what happened last week with Olivia Rodrigo, where she has a new song out and it sounds just like Elvis Costello's Pump It Up. And Elvis Costello was like, I'm not mad at her because I stole that from Bob Dylan. So, and I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of musicians say that they took a lot of their beat ideas, the way they do lyrics, they all stole from Bob Dylan. So even though you and I don't really get him, musicians get him. He's a musician's musician. It's really meta when it comes to Bob Dylan.
When he walks into a room, though, the room doesn't stop. And
That's true.
He
Yeah,
didn't
that's
have
true.
the heat factor when it came to fans.
Right. That's really true. Yeah. He never got laid. He's probably a virgin.
Number 6, okay, Springsteen.
Yeah. There's
He's a
definitely,
rock
I can see women. I knew that women went nuts for him. Yeah, not my taste, but I yes, I say yes to that. I get that he is in the top 5, top 10.
Yeah, so he can sell out a stadium with just an acoustic guitar, and
That's
people
true.
would still go to see him. If Springsteen walks into a room, or when you meet Springsteen, it's something you never forget, and you
Yeah.
always talk about.
I have a funny Springsteen story for you.
Okay.
Okay, so I dated this guy named Chad. Funny enough, because we had a coworker named Chad.
Right.
I dated this guy named Chad, and Chad looked a lot like Bruce Springsteen. I mean, a lot. Like he would put on sunglasses, and people would think he was Bruce Springsteen, but then they'd look at me and be like, "Well, that's not Patty, whatever her name is. So that can't. No way would he be with that."
Mm-hmm.
So one time, Chad and I were walking down the street. He had his glasses on. You know, he's sort of like tall and lean, and I mean, really, like especially with the same glasses. Matthew Broderick came up to us and grabbed his hand and said, "Man, I never do this. You changed my life. Your music had such an impact on me. I'd like to use it in movies. I just think you're awesome. We should do something together one day. I would love," he was just fawning all over him. And slowly Chad took his glasses down.
It said
And you could-
Ferris Bueller.
you
I'm
could-
not Springsteen.
You could see the look on Matthew Broderick's face where he was like, oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry. And Chad was like, "Nah, I get it a lot. It's all right."
Okay, top 5 now. Number 5, David Bowie.
Okay, I thought he'd be higher because, again, a real original,
Mm-hmm.
was doing the male, female, trans look before anybody else. He's a total original. His music was original. He is a rock star to me like no other.
Yeah, when he walked into a room, even the last year of his life, you still stopped.
His eyes are 2 different colors, like everything about him, the music. But here's the thing. Who are the 4 people that are better than David Bowie, according to Spin Magazine?
Number 4, Jimmy Page.
No.
Yeah, Jimmy Page is a rock star. Sorry.
Bite me hard.
Nah, he's a rock star. Number 3, if you walked into a room, if he was still alive, you would fall to your knees, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So you would say, "Oh my God, I met Jimi Hendrix."
Icon. Another one of the 27 club, but
Yep.
iconic. The fact that he only lived till 27 and we still talk about him to this day, his music is still relevant. Musicians say that it's because of him they got into music, and they all who are we talking? You and I interviewed, like, it was like Harry Styles or somebody like that, and they were telling us how they only listened to, they were like going through this Jimi Hendrix phase. It's all they were listening to.
Yeah.
All these years later. So yeah, that's a rock star.
Guitarists still pull his crap apart and say, "How did he do this?" Because they
Right.
don't even know how he did it now in 2021. How did he
Okay.
do it back then?
I say no to Jimmy Page, but yes to Jimi Hendrix. So I'll give you one Jimmy.
All right, number two, I'm just going to give you the words they used to describe him. Let's see if you can guess who it is. Wizard, freak, icon, legend, a little off the deep end, control freak. Died at the age of 57.
Oh, okay. That wasn't what I was going to guess. Okay. Let's see.
Lots of controversy.
Well, this is good. Okay. So control freak. That's
Wizard, freak, icon,
wizard.
legend, one-man army, little off the deep end, control freak.
Huh.
Died the age of 57 in 2016.
Oh man. I know there's people that
Rock
right now that are
star.
yelling the name. They know it.
Complete rock star. If you wanted to have one person's talent, it would be this guy.
Okay, hang on. Let me guess. So,
Okay.
So he wasn't part of a band. He was his own guy.
Kind of, sort of.
Was he part of a band and then became his own guy?
Yes.
Okay. Do I know the band? Are they famous?
I mean, they could walk into a room, you wouldn't know who they are.
Okay.
But if you met this guy, you would still talk about it today. you would
Huh.
say, I met
Is it a white guy?
kind of, sort of.
Oh, okay. So not necessarily a white guy.
People are yelling right now.
Yeah, I know. All right. So, was it rock and roll music? Actual rock and roll music?
Yeah.
And did
You're going
was
to hate yourself when I tell you who it is.
Wait, hang on. I want to guess.
Okay.
Guess. Did he do music mostly in the 90s and 2000s or earlier?
All the above. 80s, 90s,
Okay.
2000s.
Wow.
Rock star. If he was on, if there was a rock star wall, he would be on it.
Wow. Okay.
He would have to be on it. And put it this way, you're going to hate yourself. You're gonna hit yourself in the chest when I tell
Okay,
you
wait.
who.
Hang on a minute. Okay.
I want to see if anybody's guessing.
Wait. I think I have it because you said not white, control freak, Prince.
There you go.
Yeah. Yes, 100%.
Number 2. So when you
Prince
think of when you
is
think
number
of rock
2?
stars, when Prince would walk
Yeah.
into a room, it would stop. Leslie Jones does a whole bit on when he walked into a club. What she felt when he walked into a club.
So when you and I were doing our syndicated show, one of the markets we were in was Minneapolis,
Mhm.
where Prince was from and lived and had his whole thing. The station that we worked with, the guy, I don't want to say his name, but you and I called him the unfortunately named because his name sounded like something dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? So he told the story that he worked for a radio station, a music station, and he had to do this whole thing with Prince at a club. And Prince was supposed to come and like meet people. That was the whole idea. But he walked into the club. He stayed in the VIP section and nobody was allowed in the VIP section. So, but this guy is the head of the radio station. He's the one that's running the event. And the whole event was so that people could meet Prince. You know, that was the whole thing. But he was like in this one section, everybody was downstairs, like pointing. I'm like, oh my God, this Prince. So he was like, I am meeting Prince. That's it. I'm meeting him. And he marched his ass back there and said, this is who I am. This is my event. I arranged all this. I'm not coming this far and not meeting the legend himself. So they let him in. They introduced him to Prince. Prince looked at him, said, thank you for coming, and then turned his head away and went back to what he was doing. But he got a thank you for coming.
Yeah, Prince was a bit of a douche.
I don't think he was a douche. See,
No,
that's
he was a
not
douche.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is, okay, but he would do these private concerts in New York. Like it would go around with somebody be like, there's a Prince show tonight at this and this club. And it was like a rave where it was, you know, people only knew because they were like on his email list or whatever. And it would fill up in like 2 seconds, but somebody would tell somebody, it was all word of mouth, you know, and he would do that all the time for fans. So he wasn't a douche. He didn't like the promotion of it all. He just wanted to make music.
The guitarist for The Roots, who plays on The Tonight Show,
Questlove?
Questlove. So Questlove was in the band the night Prince came to play The Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
And Quest says he had this guitar from birth. He loved this guitar, his favorite guitar in the world. And so he was playing it, and Prince came out and said, they haven't shipped my guitar. I need a guitar.
Oh, no.
Give me that one. And the guy's like, no, this is I will give you my child, but you're not getting my guitar. This is my favorite guitar in the world. And Prince says, I don't care. I'm not going on unless you let me play that guitar tonight. And he's like, oh, it's Prince. All right. And he gave him the guitar. As soon as Prince ended the show, he smashed the guitar.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's a dick. That's
He's
a
a
dick
douche.
move. Yeah,
He's
that's
a
a douche
douche.
move. Okay, sorry. Sorry he's dead, but that's a douche move.
That's a douche move. So, I mean, everybody's got those douche moves, probably a story, but that was
Yeah.
pretty crazy. All right.
All
Number
right, so
one.
I am okay. Now, hang on a minute. You've given me some of the biggest rock stars on the planet, people that were untouchable. I cannot imagine who Spin thinks is number one, the number one rock star of all time, if it's not Prince, David Bowie, Mick Jagger, Elvis Presley, Bob Marley. Who do they think is better than all those people?
I kind of agree. I don't know about number one. He should be, let's switch him and Prince. Let's make Prince number one and this guy number two. Because
okay, give me hints.
All right. A guitar player.
Okay.
One of the biggest bands in the world ever.
Oh, God, it's not Bono, is it?
Bono's not a guitar player. Bono's a singer.
Thank God. Okay.
Now, and if this guy walked into a room, you would say, holy shit, I have to touch him.
Okay, so one of the biggest bands in the world.
Ever.
Okay, so it's not the Rolling Stones. It's not the Who.
It's the Rolling Stones.
Oh, it's the Rolling Stones?
Yeah. Keith Richards.
Oh,
He's a rock star.
Yes.
He oozes rock star. He's 145 years old. He's still way cooler than any guitarist in any band that's 20 years old right now.
Right. And he's still dating 20-year-olds. Yeah. and he still looks like a rock star. And people, yeah, he is the icon. Put it this way. The biography written about him, not that the biography wasn't the coolest book on the planet, but the audiobook, they had to get Johnny Depp to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just, that's how cool, even the book was cool.
Yeah, he had to play Johnny Depp's dad in Pirates of the Caribbean because he could pull it off.
Right.
He's that freaking cool. When he wears a shirt, you want to buy that shirt because he makes that shirt look cool. And he's 140.
Right, yeah.
So, he just walks past you. So I would say he's number two. We'll make Prince number one, but I think Keith.
No. I think Keith Richards is number one. I could see why he'd be number one because, again, remember, Prince's music is not for everybody. I mean, I'm a huge Prince fan. I always have been. But Rolling Stones, there's something for everyone. And they covered a lot of generations. Like Prince is iconic. Definitely number two. I see why he's number two. But I don't think he's more of a rock star or better in any way, shape, or form that Keith Richards is. He's the one.
Agree.
He's it. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. They did a good job.
Wow. Good.